The ability for animals to emit light is an amazing and strange ability. It's only seen in a very select sample of creatures, such as anglerfish, fireflies, and jellyfish. Recently, however, researchers discovered that salamanders can also produce light, though it's slightly different from how the examples I listed produce it. Before we get into that, however, let's talk a little bit more about what exactly salamanders are. With around 730 species, salamanders are the second most diverse group of amphibians, behind frogs, who have around 7,400 species. Salamanders are known for having long bodies with moist and smooth skin. They can vary widely in size, but are typically around 6 inches, but some, such as the Japanese giant salamander, can grow up to 6 feet long. They live all over the world and have a large variety of habitats, but mostly live in moist forests. They tend to be more active during the cool portions of the day or during night, and during this time they often hunt for slow-moving prey such as worms or slugs. During most of the day, they can be found under rocks or trees trying to stay cool. Their bright and colorful skin patterns are warnings to predators to stay away, as they can release a bad-tasting liquid when attacked. Some species are even able to detach their tail to get away. As mentioned before, they are also capable of glowing. While other animals use bioluminescence to light their bodies, salamanders and many others use biofluorescence instead. Bioluminescence is a chemical reaction happening within the body which causes a part of the body to light up, while biofluorescence needs to use another light source, blue light specifically, to light up. The high energy from blue light gets absorbed and then re-emitted at a lower energy level, which gives off a faint glow. This is a trait that's fairly common in cnidarians, arthropods, and fish, but salamanders are one of few tetrapods that can do this.
There are many speculations on why organisms glow. Possible causes involve communication, sexual selections, improvement of visions, and perhaps no function at all. In attempts to know more about this incredible phenomenon, a group of researchers conducted the first taxonomically comprehensive exploration in amphibians. The reasons behind salamanders' biofluorescence nature, the mechanism behind the biofluorescence activation, the specific molecules involved, as well as the evolution of biofluorescence in amphibians are all being studied. Under the approval of agencies like Minnesota DNR and NIACA, live and freshly dead specimens are imaged and digitized. They were illuminated with blue excitation light with filter. Ultraviolet illumination with filter is also used for some species of frogs and salamanders. During the imaging, live animals are placed in glass container in the dark. With the help of spectrometers, 10 independent data were collected. The average of the data will represent the fluorescent map of the species. The presence of biofluorescence also helped confirm the speculated evolutionary relationship of some amphibians. In this case, only 2 clades, the Asiatic and Torn salamanders, has lost their biofluorescence characteristic during the process of evolution.
Amphibians fluoresce green to yellow in response to ultraviolet excitation light, but the biofluorescent light emitted under blue excitation is more intense than when excited by ultraviolet light. The intensities of fluorescent light recorded were variable among taxa and weakest for those that lacked bright or reflective pigments. In some salamanders, the ventral surface fluoresces more intensely than the dorsal surface, and in other amphibians, specific parts of the anatomy or secretions also flourished. Areas with concentrated pigments such as yellow blotches of eastern tiger salamanders, yellow stripes of three-line salamanders, and orange ventures of alpine are a striking fluorescent green or green-orange. Scattered chromatophores and white iridophores fluoresce green in taxa like the northern dwarf siren, spotty dusky salamander, and the three-line salamander. It is observed that mucus-like secretions from the skin fluoresce green in some groups, as does urine. The presence of fluorescence in caecilians and lineages of frogs suggests that biofluorescence is taxonomically widespread in those radiations, and that biofluorescence likely appeared early in the evolutionary history of amphibians. Biofluorescence associated with bold colors could be the result of both chemical and structural elements of the amphibian's dermal chromatophore unit. Alternatively, there could be sources of fluorescence in salamanders and other amphibians independent of their pigmentary systems. Green fluorescent proteins and their analogs are responsible for fluorescence in some invertebrates and vertebrates, but similar proteins have not yet been characterized from amphibians. Perception of biofluorescent light also depends on the sensitivity of the eye of a potential observer. Biofluorescence in amphibians could potentially contribute to achromatic vision and perception of other individuals in low-light environments. Biofluorescence is widespread and variable across amphibia. And these findings shine a new light on how much more we have to learn about the biology of these fascinating vertebrates.